Hey. Welcome. We'll have to wait a little bit to get some more people on here. See who gets on. Having some Turkish coffee. We'll see. That's a little better. What's going on? If you can hear me, let me know down in the comments below. Having some Turkish coffee here this morning. What's going on? We're out here just working on some boots, working on the last. Decided to take a little coffee break. No manches. No manches, what's up? Cubo. Cubo. Que pedos. So we doing boots. You doing boots too? Where y'all from? Y'all make boots too, or you just what you? I'm not sure I understand. Doing trees. It's the boot business. You doing trees? The boot business is going. It's going, man. We've actually started cutting out a lot of our repair work just so we can build boots. Because we were doing a lot of repairs, but we were staying so busy with repairs we didn't have time to make boots. And then I decided to do 50-50, but that wasn't working out. So we ended up recently just cutting out a lot of our repair work. I hate doing that because, you know, customers want stuff done, but we just can't do it all. You talking about like the tribal boots, the ones that like curl up all the way to your toes? No, nah, we don't do that. Nope. But no, it's 9 o'clock. I figured we usually jump on here about 9. So I figured we do a little live. Can you get a shout out? Who is it, Finn? What's going on, Finn? Silicon. Yeah, we do just custom boots. And the thing with the stuff that we make is that you have to physically come to our store, or you'd have to meet us if we're at an event or something. That's the only way that we'll make the boots. I've had people, reach out and say they want a specific size, but there's so many different things that can go wrong that we just don't even fool with it. We just like, you have to come to the store, and then most people do. I mean, we're fortunate. We've got enough boot orders right now for probably the next 5-6 months, and then people reach out to us on a daily, asking about custom boots. So I feel like that's going to be the way to go for us, is just focus on just making the custom boots. Trying to, man. How's the tree business? You guys do landscaping, or do y'all just like cutting trees down, or what? It's a little fiber. Gotta start watching what we eat, man. Citrus farm, okay. Yeah, Turkish coffee. I actually learned how to make it from a friend of mine. He does a lot of shoe repair up in Virginia. His name is Steve. I was up at his shop one time, and he gave me something to try, and I was like, man, this is some good stuff. So I've been making it ever since. And it just tastes so good. I don't put any sugar or nothing in my coffee. It's just straight black with a little bit of this is what adds the sweetness for me. Take a little bite of your bread or something, or your little cookie. Take a sip of your coffee, man. That's magic right there. I've never been. I don't think I've ever had any Turkish food. But I'm definitely down to try it. Around here, there's really not a lot of options. You're starting to see where I'm at here in Georgia, middle Georgia. You're starting to see more, I guess, foods from other places. Like, there's a couple Indian restaurants that opened up, and they're about an hour from me. So, I mean, I live in the middle of nowhere, basically. I'm gonna have to look it up because I'd be curious to try it. The downside to a lot of these places, though, see, because I'm Mexican, and a lot of the downside to a lot of these foreign places, even Mexican food, is they're like really high in carbs or sugar. And my wife, she's diabetic, and she can't eat any of those carbs. And so sometimes we sacrifice going to a lot of these restaurants because she can't have the food. So, but I mean, I'm down to try it. I'm sure she'll just have to watch me eat. Like this. I just spilled. Cuban coffee, yeah. Are you Cuban? No, this is Turkish coffee. Cuban will be the same thing, but I think in my opinion, Cuban coffee is a little bit stronger. This Turkish coffee will put you on your butt, but I think Cuban coffee just has a lot more kick to it, and I like it too. But because I have a good friend of mine, her and her husband, they own a Cuban restaurant, which is actually pretty good. I don't know how authentic it is, but I'm just gonna hope it is. Yeah, usually, um, I usually like it with now the Cuban coffee. I will probably, because it's, to me, the Cuban coffee is a little bit bitter, a little bit more bitter, but it's not bad. So. Yep, café con leche. Even Mexicans, man. Café con leche, bro. Which Mexicans drink café de olla. That's their thing, which is kind of similar to Turkish coffee because you do it the same way. You put the coffee beans in the olla, and then you stir it up. You know, we're talking about coffee and other stuff, and we should be talking about boots out here, man. But if this is your first time on this live, give me a number one. Well, it just depends. It takes roughly about 30 to 40 hours to build a pair of boots from start to finish. Thank you for subscribing. We got 8 people on here, so let me know. I get some boots that I made. No, you guys can see them. Hang on. So this is some boots that I made. And then this is another pair that I made. The guy that owns these boots, actually, he got deployed. And when I talked to him, I asked him if he was going to take his boots with him. He said no. So I told him, I said, man, why don't you just leave him with me? And I'll leave him as display pair until he gets back. Because he's going to be gone for, I don't know, almost a year. So I'll just keep him here. So. And this is what you see from the top. And you notice how it's wide in the toe area, the ball of the foot, because most people are wide at the ball and very narrow at the heel. Appreciate. Is it Serkan or how do you pronounce that? What's your name? The Cuban guy from Cuba. Appreciate it, Joshua. My brother-in-law is Josh. His name is Josh. Well, look, we got 14 people in here. If this is your first time watching this live, give me a number one. That way we can figure out, that way we can introduce you guys formally. Yeah, we can. Actually, what a lot of not a lot, but some of my customers do, they'll actually go out and hunt their own alligators. They'll have a tag, and then they'll have the skin tanned, and then they'll send it to us. I have a couple. I actually have like a 12-foot gator that some guy sent to us to build a pair of boots out of for him, and then and I've got a couple of the customers who just now sent their skins to the tannery. But if I have to go out and buy the hide myself out of our supplier, yeah, you're probably looking at about $1,200 to $1,500, if not more, for just the leather itself. Doesn't include anything else that goes into building the boots. And depending on the size, sometimes you need 2. That's why alligator boots, custom made, are so expensive. That's why they cost what they cost. I think for me to make a pair of alligator boots, you're probably looking at least $5,000, and that includes the labor to build them, and that's just one pair out of a big enough hide. Sometimes if you have to buy the smaller hides, you probably get them for $600-700 a piece. But it just depends, because you need 2 hides for certain ones. What's going on? Chromed by Walker. But we can get it. We can get the hide. Yeah, you sound familiar, Chrome. You've been on this live before, haven't you? I'm working on these last finally. On those blue pair of boots I'm building. Let me go get them so y'all can see them. I don't know. See, this is another pair we're finishing up. So let me go check on something real quick. Gotta figure out what that is. We mainly do cowboy boots, but a lot of these cowboy boots can be work boots. So, because we just, instead of adding a leather sole or a thin rubber sole, we just add a thicker rubber sole and turn them into a pair of work boots. Most of these boots actually are work boots. This guy right here, I mean, he's got cattle, so I mean, these boots go straight to the cow pastures a lot of times. I think he said he was going to try to wear these more for dress, but you know, it starts out that way, and then before you know it, they're in the pasture too. So, well, that's the bottom of them. These are just leather soles. So to answer your question, Josh, yeah, most of the stuff that we do is just cowboy boots. Um, Trying to figure out what I got on those boots, man. But yeah, there's somebody talking outside. Yeah, we just moved into a new shop, so we still have a mess everywhere. That's what I was doing yesterday, just reorganizing some of the stuff, and I hate moving for that reason, because you have to reorganize everything. You have to look at the space, but the space we're at now seems to have a better layout. The shop we were at before we moved here, it was a good for us to get started back, but it was the space was actually pretty small. This is probably 3 times the size of the shop we used to be at. So I don't plan on moving again. Joshua, yes, yes, we do. Actually, I got a pair of Drews in here somewhere. But yeah, I've redone quite a few Nicks, whites. I haven't done any JKs yet, but they're all the same. They're all the same. And I actually know the owners of Drews. I know the guys that own Drews boots. So, when I was talking to them, they were talking about, how you get these Nicks boots, you buy them here in the US for like 600-700 bucks. And one of the things that they were talking about was, they were talking about people just at that time, which was years ago, back when things were all crazy. Um, People, they wanted to buy boots, but they just maybe didn't have it in their budget to go spend, you know, a large number of money on boots. And so what they did, the guys at Drew's did, they went to Mexico and bought a 5,000 square foot facility, and they make their boots in Mexico. They make some of them in Mexico now, and they were able to cut the price almost in half. And so that ended up helping a lot of people out. And good boots too. I've got a pair here that they sent me because I asked them if they wanted to sponsor one of my YouTube videos, and they said yes. So I'm going to be doing a video on those Drew's boots. But honestly, in my opinion, because I've taken some apart already, it's the same quality as you would get here. Obviously, Drew's, I think they just changed their line, which a lot of these companies are doing because a lot of people can't stand breaking in boots anymore for whatever reason. And so they're having to widen their toe boxes. Some people like it, some people don't. It just, what I'm saying, it just is what it is. But Drew's, I mean, the fact that they They listened to their customers. They took some manufacturing to Mexico, not all of it, and they were able to offer a boot to the customers for the same quality for almost half the price. I mean, you can't beat that because now they're only like $370. So they're pretty good. No, you good. You good. Now, hey, tell me your name. What's your name? Is your name Sirkan or is that just your YouTube name? We got 7 people in today. Sirkan. Sirkan. Okay. So you're Cuban with a Turkish name. That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. Josh. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same quality. Um, just to give you some insight. So back in the day, it all started out with White's. White's Boots was the original maker of those logger boots. And then from, I mean, disgruntled employees and whatnot, people branched out. They started Nick's, and then people branched out from Nick's and started JK, and people branched out from some of these companies and started building some other stuff. Hence, nowadays you have all these other companies that are making boots, but they're the same exact quality. But yeah, give them a try. These are Drew's boots, so just because I know they're also called Baker, so it's the Baker family that owns Drew's now. Um, and when you buy any boots from them in the notes section, just tell them that Manny the Bootmaker sent you. I don't know if it'll help you any, but it's worth a try. Joe Bononomo. Leather hats, huh? I've got a friend of mine was making some of those leather hats too. I forget what they call it, a paper boy hat or something like that, newspaper boy hat or something like that. He made one of those for me. Where are you located, Joe? Nate. Where are you located, Nate? I hate you've had some bad experiences, but you're more than welcome to reach out to me and see if we can help you out. We mainly make boots now. We used to do a lot of, I mean, I still have a ton of repairs, but the majority of my stuff is right outside of DC. Are you familiar with Fairfax, Virginia, Nate? So the reason I said I actually went to Maryland to pick up my scaver. I got a really good deal from a Turkish guy up there, and he sold it to me. Now in Fairfax, Virginia, there's a guy by the name of Steve. I don't know how far you are from Fairfax. This guy's name is Steve, which is the guy that got me into this Turkish coffee, and he does a lot of repairs. I mean, he does high-end repairs. I mean, depending on what you need done, it ain't gonna be cheap. He does really good work. He's actually got a YouTube channel. It's called Beto's Leatherwork. So you can either ship him to me, or if he's just if he's a short drive to you. Now I will say he's a little bit out, and I don't know if he's taking orders yet. But you can always get in touch with them, and just tell them, Manny, you saw one of my videos on YouTube, and that I sent him, that I had referred you to him. Because I think last time he posted, he wasn't taking in any orders until like May or June or something like that. But a lot of I usually try to refer people that are close to where they're, where you live, so that if you can drive, it's a lot easier. I know some people have, some different feelings about having to ship stuff out, so I try to just refer people out as much as I can. But if you want to ship them to me, just ship them. I mean, let me see if I can. Uh, let me see. I still need to figure out how to do this thing. No, I don't want to read. I don't know what it's doing now. I was going to try to see if I can comment here with my address, but I don't know if YouTube will let me do that because it's sensitive information. But Nate, you can go to my profile and just look at my address. It's on my profile. I think it is. It's on my profile. If not, you'll find my number up there. Hey, Josh. His name is Steve Dudaclin. I think he's Armenian. Don't quote me on that. But his information on Facebook and Google is going, or YouTube is going to be Bedo's Leatherwork. I think it's BEDOS Leatherwork. And he's down, like I said, I can't remember. I'll have to double check. But I know for a while there he kind of stopped taking in repairs because he was a little bit backed up. And I can't remember the date. He said he would start taking stuff back again. So, but if you're close to Virginia, if you're close to Fairfax, and you want to give him a shout, just tell him that Manny the Bootmaker in Georgia referred you to him because you were close. And who knows, he may be like, just ship him. He may tell you to ship him to me. I don't know. Or he may be like, ship him to somebody else, because I think last time we talked, I wasn't taking in any repairs, but we'll still do stuff like full soles and stuff like that. I just little purses and little rips and stuff like that. I just don't. It takes me more time to set the machines up to do that than it does to just take them in. So I'm not. If it's something I can do real quick, I'll just do while the customer waits. But lurking at work. Yeah, we're fixing to. I need to get off of here soon too. Normally I do these for about an hour, but I got here late this morning. My son wouldn't sleep at night, so I don't know what was wrong with him. Normally I get to the shop about 6, between 6 and 6:30. So, we don't have that many people on this go around. Oh, what's going on? Another thing I was going to do was I wanted to set a one of those things where you do like the super chest, because somebody had to show me how to set that up. I couldn't. I thought it was set up because I had a couple people on the first or second live stream we did that were trying to support us, and we couldn't get the whole thing set up, and it took a couple tries, and finally people started sending thank yous and sending super chats, which was cool. Oh, okay. I never know. For some reason, never shows on my end. Or maybe I just don't know where to look at. So, but that's cool. Cool. And then sometimes when you turn this thing on, people don't want to answer your questions. They just kind of scroll in, scroll out. So, but yeah, I look forward to getting these done. These have more of supposed to be angel wings. So I think the light makes it kind of hard. So now that this is done, what's going to happen is we just pull it like this. See, and then they start taking the shape of that last. So that's why these are important, because these are made to the customer's measurements. And that's what I'm doing now. So when a customer comes in to get fitted for boots, right? I don't know if y'all can see that. So we take the customer's tracings. We take the customer's tracings, and then we take the last, and then we got to make sure that we get the measurements around the ball, the straight ball, the waist, the long heel measurement, and then the circumference around it. And then we have the instep, and then the short heel measurement and the circumference around it. That way, we make sure we get the right measurements so that the customer, you can see on the bottom how much we added. Well, this one actually wasn't very much. And then once that's done, then we treat it, because as you can see, this one still has the bare leather on it. This one's already treated. So we put some sort of varnish on it to get it soft, so that the leather, when we're lasting it, it pulls nice and it doesn't get hung up on anything. And then once that's done, we cut out the footbeds, which is leather footbeds, and then we soak them in water. I tie them so that the leather, the insole, takes the shape of this last. Once they dry completely, I'll pull it out. Then we start trimming the insole, and then we start channeling out the where the welt's going to go. And then at that point, we take the upper, and then we mount it to this. And that's it. And then we just, from there, it's basically just putting the soles on, putting the fillers in. And then we stack the heels. So how we get these heel bases, right? A lot of people buy these heel bases already pre-made, and you just put them on. Like on the repair side, if we can, just for the sake of time, we'll just buy them pre-made. These are just like maybe loafer shoe heel bases. They already come pre-made. But with all the custom boots, we stack them all. I get these stacks from Keystone Leather over in Pennsylvania. I think they're in Pennsylvania. Somewhere. Let me see. They're somewhere up there. And so all these get stacked until we get our heel. Then they get trimmed, they get shaped, they get dyed, and then we put some wax polish on them to make them shine. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into a lot of these, all these boots. which is why they cost what they cost. I mean, in all honesty, it's really not that bad. You know, I mean, it's only my boots started at $1,800, $1,800. So I mean, it's not like terrible. You know, I've seen some of these shoemakers charge like $2,500 to $5,000 base price to start. You know, just to make a base pair of shoes. Kind of makes me realize that I should probably charge more for my boots, because there's a lot more. They can make a pair of shoes in a day probably, and it takes me a week almost to make this, with all that extra fancy stuff. So I don't know. I'll probably keep my prices where they're at for now, and then gradually just go up. According, my main thing is I just want to be able to make a living, a good living. You know, provide for my family. That's all I care about. Since about 2016, 2017. So almost 10 years. All right. Yeah, because in some way, shape, or form, we've been doing boots. We kind of veered off doing a lot of the shoe stuff, you know, the shoe repair and stuff like that. But now we're kind of focusing more on just making boots. So that's the main reason I got into this in the first place, was to make boots. And I feel like we're just now getting to that point. So I don't know if you can see the stitching on these boots, but that's about 5, 6 rows of stitching. No, it's not 5, it's 6. It's 6 rows of stitching. And they were all done 1 row at a time. 1 row at a time. So it's 1 row at a time, and you've got, so it's 4 different quarters. There's a quarter panel. So that took a long time. But no, I mean, the goal is to build something here that my kids can, you know,